So Adam Schefter just tweeted out that Chicago Bears head coach Matt Nagy has made the statement that Justin Fields is going to start for the Chicago Bears in Andy Dalton's absence. Of course, Andy Dalton still battling injuries, and that's the justification for starting Fields right now for Matt Nagy. Nagy the other day said that Dalton was going to be their starter, even if he's healthy enough to go, which clearly at this point he isn't. Dalton was in and out of the game this past week for Chicago. He left the field, went back on, and left the field again. Justin Fields in that game. No, neither Bears quarterback played well, even though the Bears won. Justin Fields had an interception in that game. I think a lot of Chicago Bears fans are about, like, it's about damn time to see Justin Fields, man. It's about damn time to put him out there. Andy Dalton's not a bad quarterback, but at this stage of his career, at this point in time, he is probably a high-quality backup. He's not the starting caliber quarterback anymore. Justin Fields has the potential to be a very good quarterback. And I love the athleticism. I love what I saw from him in the preseason, but he's still very inconsistent. Putting him out there, I think, is good because you get to see what you're working with and you know what you need to improve on. And it also gets some in-game experience to help him build on that. There's a reason Matt Nagy had the plan, though, that we're going to start Andy Dalton for almost the entire year. The offensive line in Chicago is pretty bad. Now, Jason Peters has been good when healthy, but Jason Peters gets hurt all the time. You never know when he's going to be available. Jermaine Ifedi, I think he had a pretty good game this past week, but if you're a Seahawks fan, you know Jermaine Ifedi has a lot of issues. I mean, that whole offensive line in general, not great. Cody Whitehair's the only one who's been consistent. Well, outside of Jason Peters, obviously, in the past in his prime. But other than him, Cody Whitehair's usually the only one who's been consistent for an extended period of time. Everyone else is in and out of the lineup with injuries, poor play. So the concern there would be that Justin Fields gets beat up behind a bad offensive line and kind of just never fully recovers. I mean, we've seen even Joe Burrow to some extent early on in the season have some struggles. We heard about in the preseason. After getting injured last year, he never was really... It took him a little while to get that mental swag back to really trust the offensive line and really move forward with this game. Even this past week, he hit 3 interceptions basically on consecutive drives. So playing behind a bad offensive line can definitely become mentally disturbing. Even for Zach Wilson this past week. Zach Wilson, the offensive line in New York, has not been that good despite the fact that they have a lot of talented players on that line right now. And of course, losing Mike Hybeck hurts them overall. But Zach Wilson looked very uncomfortable. And that's probably the reason why he threw 4 interceptions. People are probably afraid that's going to happen with Justin Fields. And I respect Matt Nagy for not wanting to play a rookie quarterback when the situation around him is not ready for him to step into. But I mean, look, the reality is if you don't make the playoffs this year, Matt Nagy's not going to have a job next year. It doesn't matter if you don't play Justin Fields. You say, oh, it's a long-term plan. Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace should not have their jobs next year if the Chicago team is not somewhat successful or if Justin Fields does not play well this year. And it's unfortunate for them, but it's just the point they're at with the Chicago franchise. So you have to play Justin Fields. Bears fans are dying to get back to where they were 3 or 4 years ago. And the one who gives them the hope to do that is Justin Fields, not Andy Dalton. You know, Andy Dalton, what you're ceiling with at the Andy Dalton at quarterback, is it 8-9? 9-8? That's probably your ceiling with Dalton. But Justin Fields, I mean, your floor is definitely lower too, but your ceiling goes way up if he plays well. Now, how will he play? I don't really know. It's hard to tell. We've seen only small sample sizes so far, and we've never seen him get a chance to get in rhythm. So that could change things as well. But for right now, I'm just excited to see Justin Fields, see an actual full game of Justin Fields. That's going to be a lot of fun. And it looks like Davis Mills might get the start for Houston as well. So we get to see 2 more rookie quarterbacks starting besides Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Mac Jones going into week 3. Stay tuned for more news and updates. And make sure you follow the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and, just do a lot of good stuff. You can check me out on Twitter too at Sam_Tates33. I appreciate any support you can give me. See you all later.